Hello and welcome to class number 45. We're going to get started today with our first box or shape, whatever you want to draw. I'm going to draw my pattern diagonally across the shape, but you can do yours straight across if you'd like. So this one's kind of a row type of design. So I'm just going to draw two parallel lines. They're probably about an inch or so apart. You can make yours skinnier or closer together. There's a little pop-up of what we're going to be drawing. So I'm just drawing a series of darker, bigger circles filled in to kind of create the sections, to break this banner into sections. The little dots don't touch each other. It's just sort of like, imagine like you've put little upholstery pins in. I'm going to put a dot in the center of one of these. Doesn't matter if it's the top or the bottom. I'm going to draw some lines that go from my center point out to each of the dots. So don't worry about it being, some of mine here you can see are not super straight. Try to get them as straight as you can, just to kind of help the look, seem a little bit more, straight. But don't be too concerned about it if your lines are not that straight. If it's easier for you to go from the outside to the center point, you can certainly do that too. But you always want to come back to that center dot in the middle of your section. So this one's a little bit hard to show you because my two other sections are not 100% visible. So imagine there's another box here, and I'm going to imagine that there's a line up at the top. So just kind of watch this section and maybe start in a bigger area. So basically you're going to do exactly the same thing, but on the other side. So my dot would be on the opposite side of this first box, if that makes sense. This is why I always start in the middle of my design, because you can never see the whole pattern when you start on the edge. I should have just started in the middle like I thought I should have, but oh well. So imagine my dot is there, and I'm just going to draw my lines to each of these dots on the sides. And then I'm going to fill in the top section. Those are kind of just spaced however you think it looks good. There's obviously no dot to draw them to. So just like that. You can put different types of things on the tops and bottoms of each line. I'm just going to draw another parallel line that just kind of leaves a white gap, but you can do whatever you like. If you want to save that for the end, you certainly can. So we're going to repeat this exact same process. I'm going to draw a little a little flowery type thing up here, but again, that's completely optional. You can draw whatever it is you want in between, or you can have no space in between and just draw a series of these square banner pieces, I guess. I don't know what you call them. So, I don't know, it can be something as simple as that. You can draw other pieces, you can draw a bunch of circles, whatever it is you want. So now I'm just going to fill in the rest of this box with the exact same process. I'll just throw a couple more little flowery pieces on the top of here because that's the design I started with. It's very random. You just kind of put them wherever it is that you think it looks good. It so happens to be that mine are where the dot is at the bottom or on the right side of the section, but you can really fill it in however you want. You can put something else in the background, whatever it is you want to do. For the second design, I'm going to draw another box. I think I'm going to actually go down at the bottom, down here, just to shape whatever shape it is you like to draw. I think I'll just finish the whole thing. So this one is kind of, it's a weaving type of pattern, but we're not going to draw it how we typically draw a weaving pattern. I'm going to put a section at the top, and I'm just doing this part for visibility and to show you that you can change up the size. So basically you want to create even rows. So you see how I have 4 even rows here? I'm going to use this bigger box strictly for you to see that you can change the size. So basically you want to make a grid. I made mine a little differently because I want that one big box. So you can skip that part and just make a good size grid, but I'm going to start in this large section here so that you can, oops, I almost messed up there. You want to go from corner to corner, so I'm just going to draw an X. So I want to draw in this big box so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so now just pick a side. I'm going to pick the right side of each line. And I'm going to start at the point and come down in a series of 3 lines that get wider as they go to the line and stop when I hit the first line. I'm going to turn it 45 degrees and do the exact same thing. So if it helps you to turn your paper each time, you can do that because it is easy to get confused as to which way or which side of the line you should draw them on. But they're always going to be on the same side of that line. And then one more turn, and then fill in the rest of that box with the same 3. It's always 3. If you have a really large box, you can certainly add more lines. So to finish this off, I'm going to go back to my first one. I'm going to draw the lines, the exact same thing on the other side, but I'm going to stop when I hit the very first line there. Same thing on this one. So I'm going back to the left in the exact same way, but I'm going to stop. And that's what's going to create that woven pattern there. You can kind of see it looks like it loops through itself. That's what you need. This is the process you need to do to kind of create that look. So just like that. And to finish this off, you can fill in those little edge pieces however you want. I'm just going to color mine in black, but you can add color, you can draw something else in there, whatever it is that you want. I'm just going to color them in. I'm actually going to get my large marker for this one section just because it's a very large section to color in, so it's a little bit faster. But again, use whatever it is that you have. And this larger section is completely optional. You can just do them all the same size, or you can have some that are larger and some that are a little bit smaller. It's entirely up to you what look you're going for. And that basically is the pattern. So now I'm going to do the same thing in this next row. I'm just going to do the exact same direction, start by making an X, and do exactly the same thing. Obviously, if you've made your boxes a little small, it's going to be harder to fit all 3 lines. So maybe don't make your grid any less than 3/4 of an inch or so. Maybe a little bit bigger even, because then you can really see the detail in the pattern. But whatever you have, just make it work. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to stop here, but obviously you want to fill in the rest of those patterns. It's up to you. For the last one, it's going to be kind of a border. I'm going to draw with a pencil just for my guideline here, and I'm making a swoop line with a little swirl on each end. I'm going to use the pen now, and I'm going to draw a circle somewhere kind of right in the middle there. We're going to draw a series of roses. Now these are easy roses, so it's just a circle, and then starting anywhere, you're going to kind of make an oval, a tri-oval shape that sort of hits each piece, and as you come through again, you're going to come a little bit shorter than where you originally drew. So you're basically drawing a big, huge swirl that touches the outside lines until you get to the very middle, and then you just finish that off with a little pinched piece. I'm going to draw another one down here, and as I go out to the edge, I'm going to get a little bit smaller. I'm going to come a little short, little short, little short, and you're just going to keep kind of missing an overlap. Sometimes the line isn't completely straight, but just keep going and keep practicing until you get really good at it. You don't have to have them quite this full. You can have a little bit less line, but I think it looks really cool with it really full like that. So it's up to you how you want to draw yours. But just keep going until you fill up your swirl. So I think that's all the roses I'm going to do. Now I'm going to add in just a little detail in the background and just kind of put these little teardrop shaped roses and these little veins that go on the leaf. So it's kind of a center vein and then some larger lines that go out. You can kind of see it in the drawing on the top left corner here. And I'm just going to put the leaves wherever I think it needs a little something. So you can add as many or as few leaves as you want. You can skip that part if you have something else going in between there. This is something that you can use on a birthday card, or if you're bored at a conference and you just need to doodle, these are really fun to make. If you're making a border in between your sections or some kind of separation between your sections on a Zentangle, you can certainly do something like this, or just even like a little showpiece. You could use it as a fill in a section. You can certainly just, I don't know, do whatever. If you need to draw on your hand, you can do that too. Your mom might not like it if you're younger, but just, you can. I think that looks good as far as the leaves I'm going to add. And I did do the swirl with the pencil. This is optional, of course, and you can certainly just go over that with your pen. I'm going to kind of double it up just to make it look a little bit more sketchy and sort of random, and then finish off the swirl on the top going the other direction. Obviously, again, that's completely optional. I hope that you enjoyed the Zentangles and Doodles for today. I do hope that you're having a very wonderful week and are enjoying the slightly warmer temperatures than the past week. And I hope that you join me again virtually next Thursday for another Zentangle Untangled. Have a great week.